The year was 1923. August Krogh had just won the Nobel Prize. He was a Danish physiologist, invited to the US for a lecture tour. It was going well, but he and his physician wife were not too happy. Marie Krogh had diabetes, and they were looking for a cure. During the tour, they learned about insulin. It was discovered by two Canadian researchers. So Marie asked August to make a stop in Toronto. And the trip was a success. Insulin worked, and Krogh's returned with permission to sell it. They formed Nordisk Insulinlaboratorium. They produced insulin. It was a miracle drug. The Kroghs were thrilled. Not long after, they suffered a setback. Two Nordisk employees quit to set up their own company. And what did they produce? The same miracle drug, insulin. So now there were two pharmaceutical companies operating just kilometers away from each other, producing the same drug and pursuing the same market. Of course, there was a rivalry. But by the 1980s, there were talks of a merger. And in 1989, it finally happened. The company became what we know today as Novo Nordisk, the most valuable company in Europe today. But it's not insulin that got them there. It's two obesity drugs, Ozempic and Wegovy. They're a rage now. 2022 introduced us to weight loss drugs. 2023 was the year of these drugs. 2024 is when it could become the new normal. The weight loss drug market is exploding. How big is it? Who's leading it? And are weight loss drugs the new money spinner? Hello and welcome. I'm Palki Sharma, and this is Between the Lines. Have you heard of Viagra, the little blue pill that cures impotence? But that's not why it was tested originally. It was created in 1989 to treat high blood pressure. It was for heart problems. But 30 years later, it's the bedroom drug. Ozempic and Wegovy have a similar story. They were designed for diabetes, but they had a side effect, weight loss. That's because they are GLP-1 drugs. And what's that? GLP-1 is a hormone in the body. It slows digestion and activates insulin production. These drugs mimic the hormone, hence the name GLP-1 drugs. When you consume them, you feel very full after meals, and then you start shedding the kilos. That's what happened with Ozempic and Wegovy, weight loss. Soon that became the primary selling point. It was everywhere. TikTok loved it. Movie stars wanted it. Celebrities vouched for it. Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Boris Johnson, they all swear by it. It even got a mention at the Oscars. Novo Nordisk had discovered the holy grail. Demand was so high they could not keep up. Their manufacturing lines were operating 24 hours for 7 days, yet the demand kept growing. In 2023, the company's shares went down. Why? Because investors thought Novo Nordisk could not keep up. Such was the demand of its weight loss drugs. Sales in the US alone were up by 45%. Till September last year, the company made some $12 billion selling Ozempic and Wegovy. Its total revenue was $20 billion, so that's more than 50% of the revenue selling just two drugs. Currently, this company is valued at $428 billion, the most valuable company in Europe, even ahead of luxury giant LVMH. It's so powerful, it's lifting Denmark's economy. And it all happened with just one successful pitch, weight loss. The anti-obesity drug market is booming. By 2030, it could be worth $100 billion. So there's a lot of potential and many new players, like American pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly. It has two weight loss drugs, Mounjaro and Zepbound. Some studies say they work even better than Novo Nordisk's drugs. Patients report a greater and faster weight loss, but the race has just begun. There are 70 other obesity treatments in the works, 70. Big pharma giants like Pfizer and AstraZeneca want to enter this market. The demand is soaring, including in India. In 2022, the weight management market was worth over 1,500 crores in India. By 2028, it's projected to be worth 2,800 crores. So Indian pharma giants want a share too. Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's Torrent, and Zydus Cadila are all developing anti-obesity drugs. So there'll be suppliers and takers. Is this the future then? Will weight loss drugs be the new normal? Losing weight easily is something humanity has wanted for ages, and we've tried everything. In the 1920s, there was Gland treatment. In the 1980s, there was PhenPhen. In the 1990s, there was Leptin. The 2000s had Ephedra. All of them were popular, but all subsequently banned. Why? Because they had harmful side effects. So far, that's not been the case with Ozempic, hence the potential. Also, look at the size of this market. Globally, 1.1 billion people are obese. That's 14% of the global population. Some call it a modern-day condition, others say it's always existed. Science says obesity is a chronic disease. It means you have excessive body fat. It's measured by something called the body mass index, or BMI. If your BMI is above 25, you're overweight. If it's above 30, you're obese. And it's very common. In 2019, nearly 4 million children below the age of 5 were obese. It was once considered a high-income problem. Now it's rising in middle and low-income nations. Take Africa, for example. Since the year 2000, the number of obese children in Africa has risen by 24%. If the current trend prevails, 51% of the global population will be overweight or obese by 2035, and obesity brings with it serious risks like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, sleep apnea, kidney failure, arthritis, even cancer. So chronic illness with economic implications. That's right. Obesity impacts the economy too. There are direct costs like medical expenses and insurance. And then there are indirect ones like premature mortality, missed days at work, and reduced productivity. All of this hurts a country's economy and the global economy too. By 2035, the economic impact of obesity will be $4.32 trillion every year. That's nearly 3% of the global GDP. So obesity hurts individuals and countries. And what causes it? Multiple things. Lifestyle, genes, hormones, many reasons. Yet for years, there seemed only one solution: exercise and dieting. But now weight loss drugs are changing that. Although wide acceptance will take time, there are medical and ethical questions. Is weight loss about health or aesthetics? Can you undo the effects of a poor lifestyle with a drug? Where will you draw the line? There is stigma attached to weight loss drugs. Lilly wants to break that. It wants to sell directly to patients. No pharmacies, no physicians. You can have direct consultations and buy the drug from the company itself. The other hurdle is the price. These drugs are very expensive. Take Wegovy and Zepbound. If you're in the US, they'll cost you more than $1,000 every month. That's more than 80,000 Indian rupees every month. And research shows you need to keep using them. This is a long-term treatment, stretching for years at a time. At that price point, it's just not sustainable for most of the people. And this is giving rise to counterfeits like fake Ozempic injections. People buy them off the black market, and this is dangerous. Regulators will have to work on this. But the larger picture, we say, still looks positive. We have the science, we have proof that it works. What we need now are guardrails, affordability, and the destigmatization of weight loss drugs.